Got a great message from Chief Stella. He said, when we used to go on our missions behind enemy lines, we'd send a guy out with a bullhorn and say, "We're here! We're here! We're here!" And Coach Brown did it on Thursday. What did he say?
Cats are coming.
What are we doing?
The cats are coming.
What are we doing?
The cats are coming.
Well, guess what? Now the cats are here.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Here we come! Just like Chief did.
Touchdown! The Wildcats win!
Northwestern needs a touchdown slant. They've got it! They've got it!
Hi again, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Pat Fitzgerald Show. I'm Dave Ennett. We're coming to you this week from the Under Armour brand house on Michigan Avenue in downtown Chicago. This past week, the Northwestern Wildcats went on the road for the first time in Big Ten play, traveling to the Big House in Ann Arbor to take on the surging Michigan Wolverines. Let's get to the highlights, our Grossinger Auto Group first half highlights. The Northwestern Wildcats are on the air today from Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor, Michigan, Big Ten football. It's the Northwestern Wildcats and the Michigan Wolverines. Here is the run-up, the swing in the leg, and the kickoff by Makuchi. High and overhead, it'll be taken by Chesson at the 5, across the 10, to the middle of the field, the 15-20, near side 30, 35-40. He's got a blocker. He's to the 35-30, and he's going to take it all the way. Touchdown, Michigan.
Yeah, I thought the guys had a great week of practice, had really good focus, and then, to go into the arena and give momentum away. Not to discredit the play that Michigan made, but we had 4 guys that are cut the field, speed down the field in the what we call the avoid zone, where you can't make contact, and all 4 get blocked, and obviously it's out the gate. Our safety overruns the ball.
A long 10 for the Wildcats, and Thorson to throw for the first time over the middle, dropped incomplete. Christian Jones on a slant across the 25-yard line.
Michigan's got a terrific defensive front. At times we were able to block them. At other times we lost our one-on-ones up front. And then it was compounded by when we did make throws that we had opportunities to make plays. I think maybe we went 3 or 4, maybe 5 for 20. And that type of percentage, when you're down, trying to make some plays, guys then start pressing, trying to do too much, which is actually counterintuitive. It ends up compounding the problem. And our guys kept battling, kept fighting. We just couldn't execute cleanly. Credit Michigan.
And Rudock gives to Davion Smith, bursting up the middle, 45-40, inside the 35 and down to the 34-yard line, where Deontay Gibson runs him down.
4 explosive plays. That was as many as we've given up all season long. One on a 3rd down short that we don't cross the face of the center. Our will linebacker's got to pick a gap. He picks the wrong gap, obviously, in our corner, who's in a read technique, which means he's secondary run support, is up at the line of scrimmage and the ball pops. They ran a nice little 2-3 exchange route against our quarters concept. One of the pass plays that got them down tight, but we get them to 3rd down. We just didn't respond, not creating any turnovers. Was big in the game. We needed something to get momentum, and defensively we just weren't able to recapture it for our offense and for our team.
Here's the snap. Thorson dropping, throwing, caught across the 30, 35, and out near the 40-yard line. A first down.
Yeah, crossfield seam. We had a couple of those throws that were there, and then we had a couple of times that we ran into their coverage, which made little to no sense to me, when really the same concept should have been open all day. So not a very good day by our wide receivers and offensive line. A day that they're going to need to learn from and grow from and respond from.
Thorson will throw it, pops it quickly over the middle, caught at the 50-yard line by Garrett Dickerson. A first down just across midfield, and the snap to Clayton, and the handoff goes to Vault. Vault finds room to the 45-40. Inside the 35 as he cut it back to the middle of the field to the 34-yard line. On 2nd down and 12, the snap to Thorson, and Thorson rolling left. Thorson now throws on the run. Nice catch up at the 25-yard line by Christian Jones. Short of the first by a couple. They'll mark it at the 26-yard line.
Yeah, well, it's fourth and a long one, or maybe a full one. Really felt like we needed something positive. Feel confident with Jack from that range. Put a good strike on it. Pulled it by a yard. And I really felt like we needed points in that drive.
On 3rd and 15 for the Wildcats for their own 15. Snap, Thorson throwing down the middle, caught Carr, 25, 30, and out to the 35-yard line. Austin Carr at a 20-yard gain. Snap to Thorson, drops, Thorson looking left, caught to the 40, 45, and out of bounds is Miles Schuler. Snap to Thorson, back to the goal line. Quick throw down the far sideline, back shoulder throw, and it's intercepted by Michigan. Down the far side to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
We got to make that play. Credit Michigan's young man. He took the ball from us and ends up going and getting a touchdown. And, that's a great throw by Clayton under duress, and we've got to make that play. In those types of games, we make that play, we're out to the 35. Again, here we go. We finally get a momentum play and get some things going, and instead it gets flipped over, and now we're down 4 scores. Against a very good defense, that puts you in a pretty deep hole.
Still to come on the Pat Fitzgerald Show. We'll take a look back at Saturday's second half and hear from the players. And later, 20 years later, the 1995 Wildcats look back at their trip to Pasadena. But first, here's a special look at what's coming up for homecoming this week in Evanston.
The chemistry and the family and the belief of Northwestern this year has been special. Gets inside, touchdown, Northwestern, great run by Autry. Over the middle, complete, and welcome to the Bates Motel. Hit in the backfield by number 31, Pat Fitzgerald. They ran over one of the better offensive lines in the country.
The Northwestern Wildcats have upset the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame.
.47-yard field goal attempt. Every Wildcat player standing, every fan standing for the win. The snap, the placement, kick by Wazalewski on the way, and overhead kick is up and good! The field goal is good, and the Wildcats come right back in absolutely unbelievable fashion.
It's time to play head-to-head, brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. This week, name as many NFL teams as you can in 15 seconds. Our first contestant this week, sophomore linebacker Anthony Walker.
Dallas Cowboys, Miami Dolphins, Atlanta Falcons, Seattle Seahawks, Denver Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs, Minnesota Vikings, Chicago Bears, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jacksonville Jaguars, Oakland Raiders, San Francisco.
All right, he got it at the buzzer, so that's 12 for Anthony. Let's see if Deontay Gibson can top that.
The most important team, the Browns, the Patriots, the Steelers, the Bengals, the Colts, the Broncos, the Bears, the Dolphins, the Jets, the Giants, the Raiders, the 49ers, the Seahawks, Cardinals.
14 for Deontay. He is your champion this week. Thanks for watching Head to Head, brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. We'll see you next time.
Welcome back to the Pat Fitzgerald Show. The Wildcats trailed Michigan 28-0 at halftime on Saturday. Let's get right back to the action with our Discover Card second half highlights. Both teams are back on the field. The halftime homecoming festivities have wrapped up here. 3rd and 5 for the Wolverines. The snap to Rudock. Rudock steps up in the pocket, starts to run. He's hit and driven down. At the 29-yard line, Deontay Gibson takes down the quarterback. He's 2 of 4 from 40 or beyond. Here's the snap, the kick on the way. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Thorson looks over the Michigan defense, drops back to the 5-yard line, lets it fly near side. Caught by Christian Jones, 15-20, turns it up and escorted out across the 25-yard line.
I thought from a one-on-one battle standpoint, we lost an overwhelming majority of those. And that's the defense that they're playing right now. They're playing and saying, we're going to stop your run with our 4 D linemen and 1 linebacker in the box, so to speak, in the inside run play. We're going to cover you down on the outside and play man free, and you got to be able to throw the ball with success. And obviously we weren't able to do that consistently enough. And I thought Clayton, outside of maybe 2 throws, actually gave us a chance to win the game. He put us in all but 1 good run check to protection a few times to get us in the right protection, at least from a standpoint of scheme.
Back, first down to the NU 49-yard line. Rudock will flip to Chesson on a reverse right to left, and he's drilled in the backfield by Godwin Igwebuike for a loss back to the 45-yard line. Loss of 6 on the play. So a change of quarterback for the Wildcats, and Oliver drops to throw. Guns it right flat, caught there. But Jelani Roberts breaks away to the 25 and angled out across the 29-yard line. He's got a first down to the 30, so the senior, Zach Oliver.
Yeah, I made a decision. We're down to a point where we're probably not going to get a chance unless all of a sudden some miracle happened. At that point, really felt like it was important to get Matt and Zach reps. And then also some of our other players. We needed to get guys some reps at that point and try to make sure we got out of there not only with the right attitude and the right approach, but more importantly with an eye to what's next and where do we go from here. And there are a handful of guys that got some reps that I think will make them better in the long run, and Zach and Matt were 2 of those guys.
The Northwestern Wildcats suffer their first loss of the season. It's all over as Michigan defeats the Wildcats here by a final score of 38-0. The final numbers show just how tough the day was for the Wildcats. Justin Jackson finishes with 25 yards on 12 carries, while Clayton Thorson completes 13 passes for a total of 106 yards. On defense, Deontay Gibson did manage to record 2.5 sacks in the backfield, and as a group, the Wildcats had 8 tackles for loss in the game.
Because not many people get the opportunity to play college football, and if you wallow in your sorrows, you're not taking advantage of such a great opportunity. And for us as a team, and specifically as a defense, we didn't show up like we should have. But again, it's football. It happened on Saturday. We're not gonna let it happen again.
We just weren't executing. We weren't where we needed to be, and we weren't flying around to the ball like we usually do.
As the leadership group, we gotta beat that home. That we just gotta flush this. We're a much better team than we showed today, and we know that 100% deep down in our hearts. We know we're better than a team than we showed today. So if we can do that and get the attitude back to where we need it to be, I think we'll be okay.
Still to come, it's been 20 years since Gary Barnett taught Northwestern fans to expect victory. After the break, we catch up with some members of the 1995 Big Ten Championship team. Welcome back to the Pat Fitzgerald Show. It's hard to believe it's been 20 years since the Northwestern Wildcats shocked the college football world by winning the Big Ten Championship and taking the purple to Pasadena. This weekend, many members of that team and some of the coaches will be back in Evanston for a reunion and recognition of what they accomplished in 1995 at halftime of the Iowa game. We had a chance to sit down with some members of the 95 team and reflect on what they accomplished.
The long wait is over. The purple has arrived in Pasadena as the Wildcats meet the Trojans in the 82nd Rose Bowl.
I remember my grandfather saying to me that, this year is going to be with you for the rest of your life. And it really has. It's something that a lot of people still talk about. It really was a story that brought the entire city of Chicago together, and being from Chicago and living and working in the Chicagoland area, it's been a pretty important part of my life.
It's one of the most memorable seasons in Northwestern football history. And as the 1995 season progressed, the Wildcats' goal of making it to the Rose Bowl started to appear more and more achievable.
We didn't really talk about going to the Rose Bowl, although it was at the top of our goal chart. And in the spring, the guys started breaking down at the end of practice. We all get together and they put their hands up and they started saying Rose Bowl.
Midway through the season, when we hadn't dropped a Big Ten game, people were kind of looking around like, well, we're kind of tied for first. But we really was, Barnett did a great job, and that old cliche, one game at a time. It was one game at a time for us. We really had that sense of urgency for every game.
I really thought we were going to really do something special was after that Michigan game.
Wolverines up to the line. Wildcats show blitz. Here comes Ishmaeli. Greasy back to throw. He's hit as he throws. It's intercepted. Yes! And the Wildcats are going to win the game.
We played that team probably 100 times. We would have lost 99, but we won that game somehow. And I think for us, it just galvanized the belief that we had in each other.
And that's going to do it. The Northwestern Wildcats have defeated the defending Rose Bowl champion Nittany Lions of Penn State.
We were 2 wins away from going undefeated after we beat Penn State, and I think that's when it started to set in that we had a chance. We were going to need some help from Michigan, but we had a chance. I mean, I can remember looking up in the stands and seeing a sign, it said Rose Bowl, and I thought, this is crazy, but we got a shot.
The Cats ran the table in the Big Ten, beating Iowa and Purdue to clinch the conference championship and ultimately a spot in the Rose Bowl against USC. But even with all the excitement on the field, the life lessons, friendships, and memories made along the way are what matter most to the Wildcats today.
When you truly believe and everybody buys into it, a lot of positive things are going to happen. That's helped me through life.
We had and still have just unbelievable relationships, and that was the hallmark of that team. I mean, the brotherhood, the chemistry, the love, the tough love, the accountability, it was something special.
The team gets together often to celebrate the '95 season, but this year with the 20th anniversary, there's a little extra meaning. Saturday, the Wildcats will gather once again for homecoming, another opportunity to cherish a moment with their teammates and coaches.
It's good to get together with these guys and see people that you haven't seen. I love seeing the coaches. It seems like the players, most of us keep in contact, but the coaches are the guys that you really appreciate.
This is such a unique for our '95 football team, just to see that group of guys. And more important, to see everybody has done something in a contributing manner to society that I hope will represent Northwestern in a very positive manner.
10 years ago, I don't think we kind of realized how special that team was. And now to be fathers and husbands and kind of right in the middle of our races professionally, to come back together to share that brotherhood was really special over the summer, and I know it's going to be really special for the guys next week. I'm just so thrilled to be a part and honored to be a part of that group of men and a very, very small piece of the puzzle of one of the special teams in Northwestern history.
When we return, it's homecoming week on the Northwestern campus, and the Iowa Hawkeyes are headed to Ryan Field. We'll get you set for Saturday after the break.
47-yard field goal attempt. Every Wildcat player standing, every fan standing for the win. The snap, the placement, kick by Wazalewski all the way, and overhead kick is up and good! The field goal is good! And the Wildcats come right back in absolutely unbelievable fashion.
Welcome back to the Pat Fitzgerald Show. The tough tests keep coming for the 20th ranked Northwestern Wildcats. This week, it's a visit from the undefeated Iowa Hawkeyes for a pivotal Big Ten West showdown at Ryan Field. Kirk Ferentz's Hawkeyes are the leaders in the division after posting wins over Wisconsin and Illinois in the last 2 weeks. Junior quarterback C.J. Beathard is averaging over 200 passing yards per game and has thrown 9 touchdowns this season. His favorite target, Matt Vandenberg, is averaging over 5 receptions per game, more than twice any other receiver. On the ground, Jordan Canzeri had a huge game last weekend, rushing for 256 yards on a school record 43 carries against Illinois. The senior upped his total to 9 touchdowns on the season. The Iowa defense has been especially stingy on the ground, allowing opponents just 78 rushing yards per game. Drew Ott is one of 3 Hawkeyes with over 6 sacks on the season, while junior Desmond King has 5 interceptions in the secondary.
Well, the winner of this game's, truly in the driver's seat. Iowa right now, they're in the driver's seat, and they've earned that. They've put themselves in position to control their destiny, and if we want to get ourselves up there in the front seat of the Big Ten West, we got to find a way to win this football game. So it should be a great game. You add on the reunion for the Rose Bowl team, and it'll be great to have Coach Barnett back here as our honorary captain. Really excited about that, and then really excited for our seniors. Their last homecoming. We're running out of opportunities to come out of that tunnel at Ryan Field for those seniors, and this team is now, kind of in the twilight. We're kind of a 50 or 60-year-old team right now when you look at the lifespan of the team, and we've got to learn from our experiences here in the first half and go play our best football here this week and get the second half of the season started the right way.
Saturday's homecoming game is an 11 a.m. kick and will be televised by ABC. For a chance to see Chicago's Big Ten team in person, go to NUsports.com or call 888-GO-PURPLE. Now for Coach Fitz, I'm Dave Ennett. We'll see you right back here next week. Thanks for being with us, and as always, Go Cats.